Hey guys, David Syvertsen here from Ourlads Scouting Services, Senior Draft Analyst. Today, we are going to dive into the top 5 tight ends as they currently stand pre-Senior Bowl week. Number 1 is pretty obvious, might be the highest tight end we've seen drafted in quite some time, pre-Kyle Pitts, I should say, and it is Brock Bowers from Georgia. This is a weapon for the offense without a true position that can line up all over the offense and do damage with the ball in his hands and create on his own and create mismatches at multiple levels. He is a creator and scorer with the ball in his hands. He led the nation's tight ends with touchdowns as a true freshman with 13. He went on to score 31 total touchdowns over his career. His 8.5 yards after the catch per reception over his career is something that NFL coaches are going to love. He led the country all 3 seasons there, among tight ends that had over 45 catches in any of those respective seasons. The question here is, considering the position he plays, can he truly be a number 1 threat to justify being picked in the top 10, maybe even the top 5? It really needs to be paired with the right quarterback and the right offensive mind, because when it comes to yard after catch, which is his top trait, that is as much quarterback and scheme as it is player. Coming in at number 2, Ja'Tavion Sanders from Texas. This is a freakish athlete who arrived at Texas without a true position, but he blended the tools and the ability to be a matchup nightmare and one that brings it as a blocker as well. He's not just a receiving option. He did not drop a single ball in 2023. His contested catch rate is over 50%. That's a nice combination if you're trying to add a weapon to your passing game. Of all the tight ends in this top 5, Sanders is the one that led the group in snaps as an inline tight end, over 64%. So a lot of these guys are 50% or less. This guy can line up with his hand in the dirt. Does he have the natural feel and on-field IQ to stay ahead of the defense? He's slow to get his head around after the catch, and I want to see a little bit more snap to him to take advantage of that athletic ability, both as a route runner and after the catch. Cade coming in at number 3 from Ohio State. This is a gritty blue-collar type that is still somewhat new to the position. He was a defensive end and linebacker. He bouncing back and forth a little bit, but he's made tremendous strides as a pass catcher and a blocker in space, and he kind of brings that high floor feel to the table. Again, another 0 drops in 2023, just 2 over his career. He was 5th in the Power 5 in yards per route run. He caught 80% of his targets. So this is a kid in this Ohio State offense that is just filled with NFL talent at wide receiver. He made the most out of the opportunities that were actually given to him. The question I have, does he have enough developed skill to make up for a lack of ideal tools? He's got short arms. It's not going to test athletically very well. He's an average blocker, but you have to consider that he's still early on the curve and there's still a lot to chew off. Theo coming in next from Penn State. This is a classic Y tight end. Looks like he was made in a factory. He's got all the desired triangle numbers with an evolving and consistently ascending skill set that makes things look easy that are not. He's got quick twitch as a route runner and a ball catcher, 12 touchdowns on just 76 career catches. He's caught 6 of 9 career targets in traffic. Again, very early on the curve. There's still a lot to make up here, but when talking about sheer tools and upside, Theo can make a case that he is the guy behind Brock Bowers in this class. Rounding out the top 5, Ben Sinnott from Kansas State, a jack of all trades type that will create something from nothing, and he can be moved into a variety of roles. The level of dependability that current pros simply do not offer. He's got a natural feel for space post-catch. He was 3rd in the country in first downs. Among tight ends with over 52 targets, he is top 7 in yards after catch, yards per route run, yards per catch, and touchdowns. This is just a guy that kind of can do it all. He's an excellent blocker on the move. Question I have here, what is the best role and usage for a guy like this without true NFL size at tight end? Can he really hack it in the NFL trenches? Sometimes you just don't know coming from the Big 12 because you just don't see a ton of pro defenders coming from that conference. He's 6'4", 245, and doesn't get a lot of movement in that run game. So that's where I have questions with him. Senior Bowl week could answer some of those questions. That rounds out the top 5. If you want to read the full article, head over to ourlads.com and you can see my top 5 article on these tight ends. Thank you guys.